So the mission table has been with us since Warlords of Draenor, and it's had some changes here and there, but nothing quite as dramatic as what we are now seeing in Shadowlands. And as a result, I've decided to make this video on 5 little simple changes you can make onto the mission table to improve your performance going forward. Now, this video is going to be very short and snappy. That is the way I'm deciding to go with this. If you are looking for a more detailed guide, that is something I'm considering making. However, I just simply didn't know if it was something that people were going to be interested in. If it is, let me know in the comments down below and I will get to work making it if enough of you are looking forward to that. So, the first tip I have for you pertains to troops. Now, your troops are going to be one of the most changed aspects of the mission table. One mistake I've seen a lot of people make, myself included for quite a bit longer than I'd care to admit, is that you can have multiple troops. When you first approach the mission table, chances are you will have 2 troops on the left hand side. However, you can put in multiples of those troops. You do not simply have to enter the fight using those troops only once. Simply drag the troop that you desire into its desired location, and then simply drag another one into another spot. That is going to be the most basic tip I can give, but also one of the most helpful. Beyond that, when it comes to troops, a couple of other things that you might be interested in are going to be that your troops level is derived from the average of your companions' levels. I.e., if you have 2 companions that are level 10, then your troops will be level 10. If you have a companion that's level 10 and one that's level 12, your troops will be level 11. You also do not need to heal or restock your troops in any way. They're simply full and ready to go every time you wish to put a mission on. Now, tip number 2 is going to be that placement really matters. You will notice that your troops and your companions do have abilities that they can use that have cooldowns. Now, every turn, your characters, be it troops or companions, will use their ability if they can. They will also use a basic attack equal to the attack value that you can see by hovering over them in your companion screen. They will do all of this before the opponent uses their respective moves. Now, the reason that placement matters is because a lot of the characters will have abilities that say that they target, for example, adjacent allies, or they will help a character that is in the ranged slots. On that note, if you're curious, the ranged slots are the back 2 for you and the top of the screen for the opponent, with the melee slots being the front 3 and the ones closest to them on the opponent's side. You do want to come up with your own strategies for how you go about using your placement and the abilities in question for the best. However, one thing that I would say is that if you are looking for success in the early missions where numbers are going to be relatively equal, you do want to come up with an attack strategy as well as just covering you defensively with your abilities, say for example defensive increases or heals for your characters. This can be done for if, for example, you have a character that strikes the furthest opponent, you may want to put 2 of that character on a same side of the board so they strike the same target. This is because combat is done via rounds, which is something that we're going to get onto next. So, as I alluded to, tip number 3 is going to be that your combat has changed. No longer is it simply a rubbish little animation that then has a percentage tied to it and did you win or not. Combat is now actually done in sort of an automated turn-based system. Now, this actually means that you can see how well your strategy worked that you devised if you were following tip number 2, and then adapt from there. One thing that this also means is that what a lot of people are doing right now is simply calculating how well they are going to do with their attempts based off of how much attack and health their side has and how much attack and health the other side has. Now, this is going to give you something of a general guide. However, if, for example, you were able to take out the entirety of one enemy unit in round 1, the opponent's attack value is going to diminish as a result of that enemy being dead. It's no longer going to take a turn in the next round and damage you. Coincidentally, if you are also able to take out an enemy while its cooldown is available to it, that is another ability you're not going to have to face, which will be considered in those values, and may be something that you are going to make the difference with regards to your win and loss ratio. Tip number 4 is going to be regarding what missions you choose. Now, for the most part, I have seen a few basic types of missions. We're going to have one that gives us anima. At this point, it generally isn't worth doing. You're not going to get much more anima than what it costs you to put the fight on, and it's not really the best option. You're going to have also ones relating to your professions that provide you with some materials. Now, these are going to be better because those materials are probably going to be more useful even if you are just selling them. Or of course you may be using them given that you have the profession in question and that's why this has appeared for you. But again, it's not going to be top priority. The two, however, that are going to be of a higher priority to you are going to be the ones that provide bonus experience for your followers, as well as campaign missions. Now, the reason for this is that in the case of bonus experience for your followers, this is of course going to get you stronger and able to win more of your missions more easily. And in terms of the campaign missions, while often viewed as loot missions, the loot is often considered to be terrible. They do, however, provide you with a progression of what missions become available to you. Once you complete a campaign mission, you will have a next sort of tier of missions be able to be unlocked for you, potentially providing you with better rewards as well as obviously better progression for your mission table capacity. Now, a couple of little honourable mention tips for you that I'm going to throw out real fast. First of all is going to be that your companions, after their missions, will regenerate their health naturally. You do not need to heal them at extortionate anima cost. You of course can if you want to, but you do not require to. If you simply just don't put any missions on for a while, they will regenerate their health. And another honourable mention is going to be with regards to when you put your missions on and the length of them. Now, a lot of people are accustomed to simply putting on a mission and then have one that ends at a time when they're next able to log on and deal with putting on the next mission. But of course, you may wish to have a look if you're not wanting to heal your minions, allow yourself that extra bit of time for your companions to naturally heal. So instead of putting on a 12-hour quest when you're next going to wake up and be able to see it in 12 hours time, maybe put it on 16 hours in advance so that your minions can have time to heal up. Now, I shouldn't be saying minions because it isn't technically accurate. You have companions and troops. However, collectively, I like to refer to them as minions. And one of the things that is most unique about this is going to be the way that you acquire your new companions and troops. Now, this is going to be done primarily through Torghast. Now, Torghast is a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to understanding what rewards you can get from it. We are aware that there is apparently 16 different companions that you can acquire, with 12 of them coming from Torghast. Now, those numbers are subject to change, and as a result, you may find over time that information comes out that conflicts this, and if so, please do go with the more up-to-date information, because at the time of recording, getting any information on troop acquisition from Torghast is proving to be quite a challenge. Now, one thing that I would make as a point is that you do want to be completing Torghast in its entirety, simply for all of the other reasons that you will be doing Torghast. However, if you are to complete it entirely in its first week, I have found that everybody that has done so that I have spoken to has acquired one additional companion. No more, no less. Whether this is simply something that is going to be gated on a weekly basis, whether it's something that you have to complete a certain difficulty of a certain wing to be able to do, is still up in the air. But your companions and troops are going to come from Torghast, so simply if you complete all of it that you possibly can for the week, that is probably going to see you right, and something I highly recommend doing if you want to be progressing with the mission table. Now that's going to about wrap it up for this video, guys. Like I alluded to in the beginning, if you are interested in a more detailed guide, I do have plenty of other things I haven't mentioned here, and I can make that guide for you. Simply let me know down below that is something you would be interested in. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider liking the video, and if you would like to, then by all means feel free to subscribe to the channel. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Later!